Hi again, everyone. So I'm going to do pump date before I start pumping. So the pump is actually not on right now, but I wanted to do a couple of like stress reliever tips for when you're pumping, or a couple things you can do to make pumping a little bit more relaxing than what it is. And it's stuff that I find if I don't do it, I get way more stressed out and I have a harder time than what I already have pumping. So I'm gonna jump right into that. And the first one is kind of an eyebrow massage, and you don't really realize how much tension you carry in your eyebrows. And so one really simple little thing, and it feels amazing. It looks kind of weird, but if you just take your eyebrows and pinch and just hold it for a few seconds, it looks really silly, I know, but it feels really good. And I do usually about 10 seconds, and then you go to the next spot over. And then the next spot over. And you're not, pinching enough to hurt. You're just pinching top and bottom enough that you'll just feel it. And it feels so good. So that's one thing I do to kind of help relieve the stress and tension that I'm feeling from my day. Sometimes helps relieve headaches and that kind of stuff. The other thing is to bring a picture of baby with you. That is always really helpful. And I try to kind of meditate on either a little video on my phone or the picture I have of her at my pump, to kind of get me in that mindset of feeding baby and thinking about her. And really the power of your mind is huge. Staying positive or staying negative, that impacts your aura really, and just kind of the person you present to the world that day. So kind of focusing in on baby and focusing on that you're going to feed her or him, and you want to just kind of project happy thoughts. It will help take the stress away from you. You can also bring an item of their clothing and use it as like a scent booster and kind of smell them on you. And then the last thing is to use a nursing stool. If you have a nursing stool, that helps so much too during pumping, because it helps relieve that back pressure that I think we all kind of get from kind of trying to lean and put ourselves in the right position to make sure the milk's going down the flange. So those are all little stress relievers. Now for the pump day, I'm going to try to hook myself up to the pump as I'm doing the pump date update now. So I've been having a really hard time still with pumping, and so I contacted Sherry again, and she got me in touch with Wendy again, and we're kind of feeling like it is just really mostly because I am depending so much on the pump itself, and I just don't get enough time with baby. How can you ever, right? So like on weekends, I pretty much baby wear the whole weekend, and my supply is completely fine over the weekend, and then as the week progresses, my supply gets worse and worse and worse. So Wendy is sending me some supplementary bars to kind of have they have herbs and stuff in them to help boost my supply, and we're hoping that will help me regulate a little bit. Not that I'm not producing enough supply, it's just the pump just doesn't do as good as baby, really doesn't. And your supply fluctuates during the time of day that it is. So baby usually takes close to 12 ounces while I'm gone. I'm gone from her about 12 hours, so that's pretty normal. But the fact that I can't pump 12 ounces is not because I can't produce that 12 ounces, it's because the pump just doesn't have as good as effect as a baby does. So it's kind of a little bit of a catch-22. So hopefully the supplementation will boost my supply enough that I can pump the right amount of milk, so I'm taking milk home to baby. So you'll definitely want to watch for an update of that, and probably a review too of those supplementary bars. Baby, of course, is doing wonderful and getting super, super smiley. And she does this hilarious thing where she'll like have her hand just in front of her face and she just marvels at it. And it's almost like a drunk person or someone intoxicated, just like, whoa, it's my hand. And it just cracks me up because it's so precious and that she just finds something so basic, so amazing. And of course, she's also discovered her feet, so they're pretty delicious to her, and it's funny to watch her, you know, contort into different positions to get her feet into her mouth. So that's really fun too. She's nursing great. She wakes up usually about 2 in the morning for feed. My bedtime is usually around midnight. So depending on the day, usually she'll wake up between 12 and midnight, or midnight and 2 for feed. And then she usually, sometimes she'll wake up at 4 and sometimes she won't wake up at 4 and she'll sleep through to 6 or 8. So she's definitely doing good. And snuggly as ever, and brother and sister still adore her, and they kind of even fight over her sometimes and want her attention. They're like, I want the baby, I want to hold the baby. No, don't hold the baby, I want baby. So it's been really fun. So that's all for this week's pump date. Again, I have the pump on at this point, and again, it's the Ardo Calypso to go, and I don't even know if you guys can even hear it in the background. It's so quiet. It's really nice. And I also love that it's a closed system, which to me is probably the most important aspect of a pump, is that it be a closed system so that there's not bacteria contamination into the pump itself. So that's super important. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get back to what I'm doing, and I hope you all have a good weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye.